Welcome to week 4 of reviewing the Clone Wars in chronological order as we prepare to see season 7 of the Clone Wars. Hope you enjoy as Santa reviews the first half of season 3 in chronological order. Santa, take it away.
Star Wars Santa here. My thoughts on season 3, the first half of the season. The episodes, viewing in chronological order. The first couple episodes here take place on Mandalore. It's a continuation of the Mandalorian story that works its way through the Clone Wars, and they're very good episodes as far as building up to season 7. It feels to me that season 7 is going to involve the siege of Mandalore, and the viewing of these episodes should be kind of higher on a priority list. These two, episode 5 and 6, the corruption in the academy, we see some involvement of Ahsoka here with Mandalore, and we know that we see Ahsoka on Mandalore in that preview trailer. Padme is working with Satine's guards, and there's also that scene of Padme kind of using a hologram projection where she's talking to Anakin, and likely Padme here might be involved on Mandalore. She has this relationship to Satine and the Mandalorian Senate, their government, and these episodes kind of help show that as well. So we get a connection to Padme and Mandalore, as well as in episode 6, Ahsoka's sent there, and she's doing some teaching, some training of some Mandalorian youth. Again, remembering that season 7 is going to take place sometime after this, these youth that she's trained with will certainly have grown and be more involved in that as well. So my feelings are that these two episodes should be very high on a watch list, and they'll come into play in some aspect as far as just understanding the background of Ahsoka, of Padme, and the Mandalorians as we go into season 7. The next couple episodes are kind of standalone as far as they don't go, they're not strung together, but they do fit into a larger story arc within the Clone Wars. We've seen some background stories already, and we come into season 3 and we get a couple more follow-ups. So the first one is episode 7, season 3, Assassin, and it's more involvement with Aura Singh. Ahsoka, there's a quote in at very early in the episode. It says, Ahsoka has grown strong in the ways of the Force. Ahsoka's growth continues to develop, and she's meeting with Yoda. Yoda is kind of giving her counsel as well, helping train her, helping her learn how to use her powers better. And here we see Ahsoka start to get visions. She's having dreams and visions, and Yoda's teaching her to calm her mind, to meditate on these to get more clarity. And he reminds her that visions are always in motion, same as he does it with Luke Skywalker before. Says these things aren't clear, right? Things can change. And Luke's worried that his friends are going to die. Likewise here, Ahsoka is worried that Padme is in trouble, that she's going to be a target of an assassination attempt, and Yoda encouraged her to act on those visions, but to keep this in mind. So Ahsoka does help Padme, and there's an assassination attempt by Aura Singh. Her story arc continues here as well. So it's a very good episode. I highly recommend it. I enjoyed it a lot, and it helps go into Ahsoka's character development. The next is season 3, episode 2, ARC Troopers. Again, this half of the season jumps around chronologically. ARC Troopers is another follow-up with our Domino Squad that we followed a couple of episodes here as well. And we see Fives and Echo and 99. Those are all involved here. There's a touching story where Fives and Echo tell 99 of Heavy being killed, and that is an emotional moment with 99, and then later in episode 99, of course, is killed, and that affects Echo and Fives as well. It's this continued evolution of how clones are being humanized, and their story, their motivations, everything involving clones as individuals, as identities, is moved along here. And as we've been following Domino Squad along, this is a great episode for that. The other parts of it are sort of formulaic again. We get Grievous involved, and the same thing happens. Grievous meets Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan and Grievous fight. Obi-Wan gets the better of Grievous, and Grievous runs away. It's repetitive in the series. Follows that same formula. The situation's different, of course, and you kind of get some more feeling of who Grievous is and how he is involved in the overall story, but it is formulaic. And we also see Ventress, Asajj Ventress, in this episode, and her cunning kind of attack style as well. And Asajj Ventress is a fan favorite. So this episode isn't necessarily pivotal in where we're going to end up in season 7, but it is a strong episode as far as just the continuation of story arcs within this series. Episode 4, so season 3, episode 4, Sphere of Influence. Here again we get some more Ahsoka. Ahsoka is featured here. We see her figuring out other tactics, and it's a decent episode. We also get a tie-in with Jabba the Hutt and Greedo. That's interesting to see how Jabba influences Greedo and has sway over him, and forces Greedo's hand. So a decent episode, probably less so on the overall connection. Dooku's involved here a little bit. So we see familiar characters. It is another Ahsoka episode, and as you get involved with her, it's decent enough from that perspective. Ties into lore pretty well, but maybe not on the highest priority of watch. The next is a 3-part story. It takes place over episode 8 of season 3, back to season 1, episode 22, and then back to season 3 again, episode 9. So we have episode 8 and 9, but in the middle is season 1, episode 22. And with here, we get Cad Bane. This is a Cad Bane story arc, this 3-parter. For me, Cad Bane is one of my favorite villains of all the Clone Wars episodes, this series. And I hope and I believe that we may see him in the Mandalorian live-action show. We may have already seen Cad Bane in that mysterious figure that shows up at the end of the one episode. So hopefully Cad Bane's involved. Cad Bane is a fantastic character as far as like a Western gunslinger, typical kind of Clint Eastwood villain. So that Clint Eastwood would be up against. He's a gunslinger for sure. It's a great 3-part episode in Cad Bane's development, and definitely worth watching.
Thank you for coming. I hope you enjoyed it. Please follow Santa over to his channel using this end screen right here. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.